against global terror. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Shri Mahesh Jethmalani ji. Shri Mahesh Jethmalani ji. To their respective places. I'm requesting you. That is the ruling of the chair. So please go back to your chairs. Please go back to your seats. I'm requesting you. I'm requesting all members to please go back to your seats. You go back to your seats. I'll allow the point of order. That is why I'm requesting all the honorable members. Please go back to your seats. I'm allowing a point of order. Please request all the members to go back to your seats. I'm requesting all the honorable members to go back to your seats. I'll allow the point of order. Will you go back to your seats? Please go back to your seats. Please go back to your seats. Allow your point of order. I'm ready to allow your point of order. Please go back. Please go back to your seats, allowing your point of order. I'm only requesting you, honorable members. You see, I have placards on me. Thereafter, you ask me to a point of order. How was this? Please. You go back to your seats. I'll allow the point of order. You go back to your seats. Allow the point of order. No, if you don't go back to your seats, I can't allow the point of order. I'm sorry. Shri Mahesh Jethmalani ji. Shri Mahesh Jethmalani ji. Please continue. Please continue. Please continue.
Honorable sir, with your kind permission, I rise above this unseemly din to support the Weapons of Mass Destruction and Delivery of Systems, Prohibition of Unlawful Activities, Amendment Act 2022. So the genesis of this bill lies in the widespread global apprehensions after 9/11 that weapons of mass destruction could fall in the hands of terrorists and other non-state actors. In response to these apprehensions, the UN, who I hope these gentlemen honor, because this amendment bill is pursuant to our international obligations as laid down, they should at least respect the UN. But sir, in response to these apprehensions, the UN Security Council in 2004 passed Resolution 1540 when it called upon all member states to enact laws for the purpose of prohibiting activity pertaining to weapons of mass destruction. Weapons of mass destruction being nuclear weapons, other nuclear devices, biological weapons and chemical weapons. So, the other, significantly, sir, the UN Security Council also mandated that member states should take steps towards prohibiting financial activity concerning weapons of mass destruction. Now, sir, pursuant to these obligations, the government of India in 2005, the then headed by the UPA, took steps to enact a bill against weapons of mass destruction. So, by Section 8, and I'll read Section 8, and this is an extremely important bill, and this din is so unnecessary. Sir, they forget international obligations are ignored only for disruption. That is the nature of this opposition. Now, sir, I want to point out a few mistakes, and perhaps that's why they want to shout and disrupt. I want to point out the failings of the 2005 legislation, which their government, some of them or most of them were members of that UPA government.
Please take your seats. Please take your seats.
Sir,
Please take your seats. Please take your seats. Everybody standing. Please sit down. Please sit down. Please sit down. Please sit down. Please take your seats. Please take your seats. He's asked for a point of order. He's asking for a point of order. Just 1 second. Please take your seats, honorable members. Please take your seats. Please take your seats. Okay, okay. Shri Prabodh Tiwari. Yeah, so you have a point of order. Yes, I'm allowing. 259 देखिए ना. 25.
आप पढ़ लीजिए ना.
Senior member, the honorable senior member. Yes, please.
सभापति व्यवस्था बनाए रखेगा और अपने निर्णयों को प्रगति के आयोजन के उस सत्र में अनावश्यक समाप्त होगी. एक तरफ आप हाउस ऑर्डर में नहीं है, इधर पॉइंट ऑफ ऑर्डर नहीं उठाने दे रहे हैं, उधर भाषण करा रहे हैं. ये दोनों चीजें साथ कैसे हो सकती है? जब हम
पॉइंट ऑफ ऑर्डर दे रहे हैं,
हाउस ऑर्डर में नहीं है, तो अगर हम नहीं उठा सकते तो वो कैसे उठा सकते हैं?
Okay, you made your point of order. Yeah, point of order. Rule number.
रूल नंबर 259.
259.
सेम है ना.
सर सदन.
Okay. Yeah, please.
सर सदन में शोर है, तमाम सदस्य वेल में हैं और आप बहस करा रहे हैं. 259 सुन लीजिए. रूल 259 बड़ी क्लियरली कहता है कि आपकी जिम्मेदारी है कि आप सदन को पहले ऑर्डर में लाएंगे, उसके बाद बहस होगी. हम आधे घंटे से चिल्ला रहे हैं कि हमारी बात सुने, आप हमारी बात भी नहीं सुनते हैं. 259 का पालन करें सर. रूलिंग दें. आप हम सबके चेयरमैन हैं, सिर्फ उस तरफ जो बैठे हैं उनके चेयरमैन हैं, हमारे भी चेयरमैन.
मैं आपको बताता हूं. आपकी पॉइंट मैंने सुन लिया. अब आप मेरी पॉइंट सुन लें. अब बैठे प्लीज. यू मेड योर पॉइंट. It's my responsibility as a chair to ensure the house is in order. It is the responsibility of every member also to ensure that the house runs in decorum. So it's a mutual thing that we have to do together. Thank you. Honorable Shri Mahesh Jethmalani ji. Honorable. One second. Honorable Shri Bhupendra Yadav ji.
ऐसा है कि सदन में 267 का विषय उठा रखा है, उसको उठा करके सुबह से शोर मच रहा है. अब पॉइंट ऑफ ऑर्डर 259 उठा रहे हैं. कम से कम इतना तो आपको कहना चाहिए कि 258 की जो रूलिंग होती है चेयरमैन की, वो फाइनल होती है. एक बार 258 की रूलिंग फाइनल होने के बाद अगर कोई वेल के अंदर आते हैं, शोर मचाते हैं, हाउस को डिसऑर्डर करते हैं, तो जो बुलेटिन आता है उसमें कम से कम ये प्रकाशित होना चाहिए कि इन्होंने 258 की रूलिंग को नहीं माना. पहले जब हमारे चेयरमैन साहब थे हामिद अंसारी साहब, तब बाकायदा बुलेटिन में ये आता था ताकि देश को भी ये लगे कि जो लोग पॉइंट ऑफ ऑर्डर मांग रहे हैं वही उसको नहीं मान रहे. मुझे लगता है ये सदन की एक परंपरा है जिसका आपको पालन करना चाहिए.
Sir, I was on what the UPA government in 2005 did pursuant to the UN resolution. The UPA government in 2005 introduced the Weapons of Destruction Prevention of Unlawful Activities Act. So by this act, and particularly Section 8, a number of activities concerned with weapons of mass destruction were prohibited and made punishable. These acts included, sir, acquiring, manufacturing, transporting, transferring, and otherwise dealing with weapons of mass destruction. So the biggest weapon of mass destruction is here, sir. They are the biggest weapons of mass destruction. They will destroy the country, sir. Sir, very pertinently, sir, while the UN had expressly said that member states should also take care to prevent financing, to take care of financing of weapons of mass destruction, the 2005 Act which they enacted contained no provisions.
We will examine. I rule. We will examine. I said we will examine.
2005 Act did not deal with financing of WMDs, although the UN resolution said it must do so. Now, sir, fortunately, from 2005 to the present date, we have had no cases under the Weapons of Mass Destruction Act. We have had no cases. So the question of financing didn't arise at all because there were no such cases in India. Now, sir, the present amendment bill, sir, as Mr. Rao has already pointed out, contains three provisions. Please understand, it contains three provisions which you must hear because this is important for your international obligations. Please, so these three provisions basically are incorporated by a new section 12A under the Amendment Act. The first prohibits any financial activity pertaining to weapons of mass destruction by any person in this country. That's clause A of the new bill. Clause B of the new bill, clause B of the new bill, sir, clause B of the new bill, sir. Sir, clause B of the new bill is a provision which provides for preventive action. That preventive action enables the central government through a designated authority to prevent funds from being used by any person for weapons of mass destruction. It prohibits persons from... And sir, there's a clause C.
Honorable members, please
There
have
is a clause C.
Please, honorable member, please.
Sir, you want... Shall I yield to him, sir?
I will just take a point of order. Mahesh Shri Shukhendu Shekhar Roy ji. Mahesh Shri Shukhendu Shekhar Roy, you have a point of order. Shri Professor Manoj Jha ji. Yeah, point of order.
Thank you, Vice Chairman.
Please,
sir.
please.
Sir, my learned member,
Which rule?
my learned member under 238,
238.
subclause 1 and 2. My learned member, my colleague, Mahesh Jethmalani ji made a reference that we are destroying the country. The people who are opposing here in the well, they are destroying the country. Sir, this is too far. We love this country. We love this country no less than you.
We will
love
examine
this country. And
We will
yet,
examine it.
Sir, this should be expunged. This
We
should be
will
expunged.
examine anything that is not supposed to be there, will
Sir,
not
this
be
should
there.
be expunged. We are not destroying the country. We are the co-creators.
I've taken your point. I've taken your point.
Please don't say that we are destroying the country.
Please. Professor Jha, I've taken your point. No, Dr.
sir.
Sivdasan ji, please. Professor, please, 1 second.
Sir,
Professor
this should be expunged.
Shukhendu Shekhar Roy ji, John Vitas ji, please sit down. Shri Jethmalani ji, please take your seat. Shri Jethmalani ji, please take your seat. Take your seat, please. Shri Shukhendu Shekhar Roy ji, your point of order. Please, Jethmalani ji, Mani Jethmalani ji, please. John Vitas ji, baithe. No, Dr. Sivdasan ji, no. Please sit down. Shri Shukhendu Shekhar Roy ji,
Sir,
rule.
I respectfully submit that under Rule 238, Sub-Rule 2, it says the member while speaking shall not make a personal charge against a member. Here, while speaking, the honorable member has not only made a personal charge against a particular member, but all the members who were here by saying, and I quote, that these are the weapons of mass destruction, and not once, twice he repeated, I hear, that must be expunged.
I'm giving the ruling. We will examine what is not supposed to be there, will not be there. We will examine. I'm giving my ruling. I'm giving my ruling. Whatever will not be there, will not be there. Yes. Shri Mahesh Jethmalani ji, please conclude. Shri Mahesh Jethmalani ji, please conclude.
May I continue, sir?
Please conclude.
मैं पहनता हूँ एक मिनट ताकि मैं उनको नहीं सुनूं। Sir,
We'll have to conclude. We'll have to conclude. No. I'll have to conclude him. No.
so I was coming to the present.
After him. Not now. No. Please.
The present amendment bill, sir, has three provisions. Essentially, there's only one section, 12A, a new section. It's a short amendment bill. It contains three provisions. The first provision, sir, is the prohibition by any person of any financial activity pertaining to weapons of mass destruction. The second is a preventive. B is a preventive measure so that the central government, through a designated authority, can take steps to prohibit any person from financing, and they can attach funds or any economic assets which are likely to be used for weapons of mass destruction. The third subsection of 12A, sir, is a wider net. It enables the central government to prevent any banks or financial institutions or any third parties from funding activity concerned with weapons of mass destruction. These are the broad three provisions which, under 12A, the new bill seeks to enact and implement. Now, sir, the amendment seems to be a response by our government to two international institutions. The first international institution is the UN Security Council. When the UN Security Council passed Resolution 1540 in 2004, it ordained and it contemplated a comprehensive review from time to time of the working of the 1540 resolution, as also any gaps in its implementation. In 2016, there was a review, one of these reviews, in which the UNSC, the Security Council, found that there were indeed gaps, and financial activity had considerably increased pertaining to weapons of mass destruction because of advanced technology. Particularly, they noticed that the delivery systems for weapons of mass destruction, such as drones, and also the use of biomedical labs for pathogens. These were two areas for which the monitoring of financial activity for funding these activities, drones for delivery of WMDs, and also biomedical labs, unauthorized, being used for creating pathogens. Also, the FATF, the Financial Action Task Force, has also recommended stricter financial controls, and the bill is therefore a response to that. So apart from that, this bill is extremely important from a national security point of view. We are a country that has been living with a long experience of terrorist activity in our neighborhood, as also proliferation of weapons of mass destruction. Accordingly, our own security interests demand that we strengthen global efforts, not just out of an obligation, but for our own security. We strengthen global efforts to prevent the proliferation of weapons and make our own territory and our neighborhood safe and secure. Lastly, sir, I want to point out a very important provision. Sir, the bill has no provision. While it prohibits these activities, it has no provision for punishment of these activities. The idea seems to be that you take recourse to the 2005 Act. Now, I only want to say two things. The 2005 Act has two sections.
conclude.
Sir,
Jethmalani ji,
just
let's
2 minutes.
conclude.
1 minute, not even 2 minutes. Sir, the 2005 Act has two sections, 17 and 19. Has two sections, 17 and 19, which both provide for punishment of other provisions for which no specific punishment is provided, such as the one in our bill. Now, sir, in my respectful submission, the 2005 Act may need to be revisited. This bill has to be passed, but the 2005 Act may have to be revisited so that the 19, so section 19 is deleted. And so, one last statement, sir, which perhaps my learned friends would be well advised. So one last statement, and that is, sir, that there's an anomaly in this. There's an anomaly in the Act which also needs to be rectified. So the people with financial activity, people who are involving in financial activity for weapons of mass destruction should face the same punishment. And therefore, these people, sir, should face the same punishment as others under the Parent Act, under Section 8. I am grateful, sir, and I strongly recommend the introduction and implementation of this bill.
Sikandar Kumar.